Hey friends, welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Brittany Timberlake. As always, if you find these videos helpful, please consider subscribing to my channel. Today I am offering a full body yin yoga practice. For props, it'd be nice if you had a blanket, 2 blocks, and a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, you could grab some cushions or pillows off your bed or your couch. A lot of us right now have to be home or have to stay inside. I am theming this practice around what it would feel like to explore your own inner landscape. So taking this time, this opportunity to be with your body, to be with your mind, and just observing whatever comes up. We are going to begin in Sphinx. We'll take our time to come down onto our bellies. We'll take our elbows and just bring them underneath the shoulders. You could have your legs a little bit wider apart or close together. You can choose. And if right away this is too aggressive for your lower back, you could just let your elbows wing out to the side, stacking your hands, and then letting your forehead rest on the hands. This is still a nice back bend. And you could let your head hang back. Or maybe you have your head come forward, hanging. Or you could use the support of your block underneath the forehead. So as we start to settle into Sphinx, you might like to close your eyes or just have a soft gaze somewhere on the floor in front of you. And noticing where your body is making contact with the earth. Feeling the texture of the yoga mat underneath your fingertips. Feeling your belly press into the mat on every breath in. Allowing the entire lower body to relax and to soften. Allowing the breath to slow down. Let's slowly come out of this shape. If you're up on your elbows, just letting the arms swing out to the sides, resting your forehead on stacked hands. Or you might even like to take your arms behind you, just resting your head on one cheek. Lifting back up slightly, just so you could take your hands to the outsides of your ribs. And we're going to press our way back into a child's pose. Now you could have your knees close together or wide apart. If you have sensitive knees, you could have your blanket underneath the knees. And an option here, just to have your arms out in front of you as your forehead comes down onto a support like a block or the earth. If you'd like to get into the upper back, I'll offer the option with the arms. So lifting up so you can reach your left arm underneath the right, and then you come down to rest on the left shoulder and the left side of the head. If you have your left arm underneath the right, slowly coming up so you can extend the left arm out, and then take your right arm underneath the left. And let's release from wherever you are. Take your time to come up onto all fours. And then just shifting the weight of the hips over to one side. So we come to sit on our bum, extending the legs out in front of us. You might like to give the legs a little shake. We've compressed the legs and the hips for quite a bit of time in that child's pose. So we'll move into a forward fold. We're going to come into half butterfly. You could take your folded up blanket and just place that underneath the hips. We'll extend the right leg out in front of us, bending the left knee, and the left sole of the foot can come anywhere towards the inner right leg or thigh. And having your bolster and your block close by would be nice because I'll give you some options. So as you start to come forward, you can choose to come right over the right leg. You might even be somewhere more towards the left. So you can play with that. And we're targeting the back of the right leg into the hips, lower back and spine if you're choosing to round forward. If you want to bring a little bit of a twist into the spine so you can get into the left lateral side of the torso, you could bring your elbow onto a block or a bolster on the outer or inner part of the right leg and then reach the left arm up and over. We're looking for that Goldilocks position where you're not feeling too much, where it's just overwhelming or painful. And you don't want to be feeling too little where you're not getting much sensation at all. Reconnecting to your breath. Continually going inside, being with the sensations in the body, being with whatever comes up in your mind. next few breaths, starting to rebuild the spine. Softening into stillness again when you land at the top. Feeling your shoulder blades relax so they come down and away from your ears. Relaxing through your face and your jaw. You might even like to keep your eyes closed as we make this transition. So you can just use your left hand to help bring the left knee back to center. And then you might like to just extend both legs out, give them a little shake. Or you could lean back onto the hands and let the knees just fall from side to side. Being super gentle and super kind to this house or home that you live in. It's the only one you've got, right? And we'll extend our left leg out as we move into half butterfly on the other side. And you could always have a support underneath that right knee. Remembering that when we come into this side, it doesn't have to look the same as the other side. So maybe you bring your torso more over the left leg this time, or you bring in that twist. Very slowly releasing from this side. And again, you could let the legs extend out in front of you and give them a shake, or you might like to lean back onto the hands and let the knees fall side to side. And then we'll make our way onto our backs for a couple of moments in a rebound, but just take your block or blocks with you so they're somewhere close by. When you come down onto your back, allow there to be a heaviness to the entire body. Allowing the body to feel supported by the earth beneath you. And as we hang out here in the rebound, I thought I would share a short passage. Don't go outside your house to see the flowers. My friend, don't bother with that excursion. Inside your body there are flowers. One flower has 1,000 petals. That will do for a place to sit. Sitting there, you will have a glimpse of beauty inside the body and out of it, before gardens and after gardens. We'll begin to transition into another back bend, another shape to compress the lower spine. So coming into a supported bridge, we'll take the soles of the feet in towards the bottom, reaching for one of our blocks, and you can choose the lowest height or mid height. The inhale draws the pelvis up as you place the block right underneath the very base of the spine. There's a flat bone there called the sacrum. If you're using 2 blocks, I'd recommend having them both on their lowest height. I often like the 2 with the lowest height because it feels like a very wide, stable base for my pelvis to rest on. And you could keep your knees bent, or you might like to start to walk the legs out a little bit longer, creating a little bit more openness through the abdomen, the hip flexors, and the quads. your legs are extended out longer, and just start to walk the feet back in towards the bum. Lifting the pelvis up on the inhale, gently moving the blocks just over to the side, slowly lowering the pelvis down. You might like to have the feet out just a little bit wider and then the knees fall in. Or you might be someone where you want to come into movement right away. You could hug the knees in towards your chest. It's normal that the lower back could be feeling a little bit vulnerable and fragile after that shape. The next targeted area that I'd like to get into is the IT band, glute, and hip area. So I'll give you two options. The first option is figure 4, where we stay here on our back. And we take our right ankle and just place it somewhere onto the left thigh. And you might like to stay here. This could be enough of sensation through the outer right IT band and glute. Or you could bring your left leg in towards you by clasping onto the back of the left thigh. The next option would be to come up into a square pose. Sitting up onto your blanket. And we'll bring our left leg in front. And then we stack the bent right leg on top. And if your right knee is somewhere up in the air, that's fine. You could place a block or your bolster underneath it. You might even just sit cross-legged with the right leg in front. And then option 2, come forward with the torso. So when I give these options, just remember that one is not better than the other. It just depends on your unique anatomy, old injuries, your bone shapes, all of these things. Options are here just to help you tailor the yoga practice for you. then let's release from wherever you are. If you're on your back in figure 4, just taking the right foot back down onto the earth. You could hug your knees in and square, just helping your legs unstack. And then leaning back, just allowing for some internal rotation of the femurs here as we let the knees rock side to side. And then when you're ready, we'll move into the other side. Figure 4, you just take your left ankle somewhere onto the right thigh, and you could hug that right leg in. In square, this time the right leg comes onto the floor, and then we stack the left leg somewhere on top. Checking in with the knees, making sure there's no pain. Using any props. Take 3 more deep breaths wherever you're at. releasing from this shape. Oh. Making any movements that feel good right now, that feel appropriate. For our last shape, we want to use a bolster or your blocks for some support. So placing either your bolster at the back of the mat, or you could take your blocks and place them in a T shape at the back of the mat. So just making use of whatever type of props you have around. So the first option is full saddle. So here we are looking to target the compression in the lower back, and then also to create some opening or tension feeling through the quads and the hip flexors. You might sit right up on your feet, or you might have your feet out to the side and your bottom comes onto a block or the floor. And you could stay more upright, or you could start to lean back onto your hands. And then if that still feels okay for your knees and your lower back, you might start to come all the way down onto your bolster or blocks, and let the arms just come out wherever they're comfortable to get an opening through the chest. If that's not accessible for you, or you're working through some knee stuff, you'll still get the benefit of the back bend by letting your legs come out long and coming down onto your support. Or you could take the soles of your feet together in butterfly and come back. My goodness, so many choices. So choose your own adventure. Really tuning in to what your home, what your body would like right now. to come out of this shape, we'll just take our elbows in close to our support and then start to press up onto one elbow so we can come up onto one hand and then the other. Shifting our hips to one side so we can take the legs out in front of us. We're going to make our way onto our backs. So just moving any props off to the side. And we'll take a couple lazy twists with the legs just to wring out the spine. Bending the knees and bringing the soles of the feet in. And then just letting stacked knees fall to the left. Coming through center and over to the right. And you might linger on one side a little longer. And then when you feel like you're ready, we're going to come into our final corpse. So your corpse could be just letting the entire body lay out flat on the floor. You might like to have your bolster underneath your knees, or a blanket on top of you for warmth. Just allowing everything to slow down, allowing everything to settle. And before I leave you in complete silence, just sharing one more short passage. Dwelling in stillness and looking inward for some part of each day, we touch what is most real and reliable in ourselves and most easily overlooked and undeveloped. When we can be centered in ourselves, even for brief periods of time, in the face of the pull of the outer world, not having to look elsewhere for something to fill us up or make us happy, we can be at home wherever we find ourselves, at peace with things as they are, moment by moment. I invite you to stay here for as long as you would like. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe at home. And may you live with ease. Namaste.